Joey and I dutifully went with her to look for her ball. And we get over the mound, and there's like hundreds of ducks on by this pond. And I have to describe this duck. It's like this. It looked like a large crow, black. The only way you knew was a duck that had web feet. They were just butt ugly, ugly duck. And there were hundreds of them there. And we're thinking her ball's in the water. But then we see the tragic event. We found her ball, and it was laying right next to a duck, and the web feet were sticking straight up. And this 65-year-old woman, she's just hysterical. Oh my God, I think I killed the duck. You know, and she's looking at me, and she's looking at Joey, and she said, "Don't you think we should do artificial resuscitation?" Well, I'm looking at Joey, Joey's looking at me, and we're thinking, I'm not going to be doing any mouth-to-beak resuscitation of this duck. You know, and so Joey, you know, very gently said, "I think it's dead. It's not breathing." And she said, "Oh, it can't be dead." And Joey said, "Trust me, this duck is dead." She immediately grabbed her cell phone and said, "We need to call the clubhouse immediately and have them send a veterinarian out here to save this duck." You know, and Joey and I both know that the clubhouse wishes they could kill all 200 ducks over there, because all they do is kill the grass. So Joey had to explain to her that I don't think the clubhouse is going to be sending a vet to go to save the duck. So it was about that point that we said, perhaps we should play on. Without them, because they had to stay with the duck for long. And the vet was going to show up. So of course, Joey and I did play on, and of course laughed till our sides ached. And then as we had, you know, checked out, and we were just loading up our clubs in the car, and we see the 65-year-old woman, and she's following this very well-dressed elderly man with beautiful gray hair, and he's like 3 feet ahead of her. And he's tromping off in his Tommy Bahama silk shorts, and her mouth is going a mile a minute, telling him about the duck and how those clubhouse people wouldn't send a veterinarian out. All of which made Joey and I laugh all that much harder. So there is no moral to this story at all, other than it shows the true way that Joey bonded with everyone. Everyone became his best friend, just as I was lucky to be one of his friends. He will be missed by all.
Yeah, don't change my dress.
For those that don't know me, I'm Joe's dad. When he was about 21 years old, I got a call from him. He was down at the University of South Dakota, and he said, "Dad, I need my money for tuition. It's time to pay the tuition. Would you send me a check?" I said, "Sure." So I sent him the check, and a week went by, and I got this letter in the mail. It said, "Dear Dad, Brian, Neil, and Andy and I are on our way to Portland. Thanks for the money." Awesome. Most of us parents think we know what's best for our kids. And of course, I was kind of a overbearing father, and thought I knew what was best for Joey. And he wrote me and said that, you know, he wanted to live his life and do it his way. And so he left, and they went to Portland. And it wasn't easy for them. The four of them really struggled. But the four of them, Neil and Brian and Andy, and turned out perfect. Over the years, I think instead of me teaching Joey, Joey taught me a lot of things about life. He had a special bond with my brother, Mike, who died of cancer. And he had a long battle with cancer, and so Joey and Jason set up some fishing trips for him to fish. And one of the things that I gave the eulogy for my brother when he passed away, and one of the things that he wrote was, "This earth is a gift from God, and what we do with this earth is our gift back to God." So Joey, you have a hand up there in heaven with Uncle Mike reaching down for you to take you where the fish never stop biting, the canvasback always fly, and the deer are plentiful. I love that boy. Thank you.
Well, I'm a friend of Joe's from here in Portland, and I met him in a really interesting way. He lived next door to me, and he would come home from work every day and blast this music through my wall, which drove my girlfriend at the time entirely crazy. But I loved it because I didn't know what it was. It was something really, really good. And so I ended up knocking on the door saying, "You play the same album every day." And he says, "Well, yeah, because it hasn't come out yet." So he had this thing 6 weeks before it came out. It's an album called Fantastic Planet by a band called Failure. And he said, "Well, I have this, and it hasn't actually come out yet." And I ended up talking to them and learning who he was, and learning who all the other people that were living in the house. And I ended up living with Brian and Joe over on Woodstock for a couple of years. And he actually helped me run off a girlfriend that I had because they didn't actually like each other very much, but I continued to live in the house because, well, that's where I was living. But as a New York Giants fan, he and we had things that we did not get along about. But he took me around to a lot of really neat places in Portland, and I had just moved into town. And I can honestly say that I wouldn't know any of the people from Portland who came here if I didn't know who Joey was. And my mother's maiden name is Williams, so we kind of had a Williams conversation at different points. And I was actually home at my great aunt's 80th birthday party this last week, and she was one of those Williams people. And to have one that stays to 80 and one that stays to 40 doesn't seem like it's really fair. But I love Joey a lot, and I'm really glad that the turnout is outstanding from all the people who are here. I'm really glad to have known him because he made me smile. And I hope that he made everyone smile. So I just hope everybody remembers that he made you smile. Thank you.